How's the video looking? I got these new lights from Godox with a proper softbox and everything. It's definitely a big step up from just the ceiling lights that I use from my M2 MacBook Pro video. If you've not watched it, the link's in the description or here if you want to watch it later. I've been editing photos on Adobe Lightroom for the past 8 years now, and I kind of know my way around the software, which is why I'm going to share with you today 5 beginner Lightroom tips for banger photo edits. Banger photo edits. Yeah, that sounds better. If you haven't used Lightroom before, there are videos on YouTube like that of Ed Gregory's where he explains the entire software in just 15 minutes, which is insane. For now, let's get started. Let's open Lightroom. Oh, I've got a mouse. Okay, first tip. While color correcting photos, I've seen a lot of beginner photo editors randomly increase the highlights, shadows, and decrease the blacks based on what they look on their screens, which is totally fine. But in most cases, our laptop screens aren't perfect, which is why something that might look perfectly exposed on our screens might look overexposed on my phone, which is why let me reset these sliders. While we work with these sliders, if we press the Option key on our keyboard or Alt key on PC and increase the highlight, we can see what portion is getting affected. So the whites, the blues and the reds are getting affected in this picture when I move the highlight slider. So when I move the black slider, you can see the blacks forming on the screen, and that is the information being lost to the edit. So we don't want a lot of information being lost, which is why we're gonna keep it right there. And whites there. I think I don't want to move the shadows, but I want to increase the shadows because I want to bring back some of that information. Maybe pull down the highlights a little. And the same can be done with noise reduction and sharpening. So if we go to details, increase the sharpening a bit and press Option, I can see what is being sharpened in the picture. There you go. If something in your photo doesn't add to the larger story or it distracts the viewer from the main subject, it needs to go. Spot removal is an amazing tool a lot of beginner photo editors ignore, mainly due to 2 reasons. Firstly, it's not in the main editing tab, so it's easy to forget that it exists. And secondly, it does not do the job quite well sometimes. So let's go here and try to remove this gentleman. Yep, perfectly done. But then the tree is not lining to the ground, which is why we're going to find another tree that can kind of replace that gentleman and align the path perfectly, and there you go. And same for the couple here. Oop, like I said, it doesn't do the job quite well sometimes, so let's find something that makes sense. There you go, and literally 10 seconds of effort, we have a picture where the subject is entirely the main attraction. But most times spot removal works, which is why make sure to use this to remove unwanted elements and keep the subject in focus. Editing photos is more than just color correcting and color grading. Even after all that is done, you got to make sure that the audience's eye is going where it is intended to go. For example, in this picture, there's a beautiful sunset going on and the colors are amazing. But what distracts my eye is the headlight here. One of them is orange and one of them is blue. Now, that might seem like a minor thing, but that's where my eye is going and it's not intended to go there, which is why we're going to do selective editing by taking one of the masks. Take radial gradient and draw a mask around the blue headlight, and I'm going to change it to a warmer tone using the temperature slider. Also, this is just one picture, which is why, in case you're working with a whole library, it might be a little difficult to do selective editing. So if you're working with just 1 or 2 pictures, make sure you edit it perfectly. I've been saying perfect quite a lot today. Now, this is the biggest problem I see even experienced photographers making. If I could inscribe it in a stone and let the world know for centuries to come, I would let them know this. Mind the skin tone. The hue of the skin tone needs to look exactly or similar to what the subject has in real life and not changed into orange like some country's ex-president While color grading, control the skin tone by going to the HSL tab and working with the orange slider. For example, let's say I want to pull the focus to the model's face by brightening it up a little, which is why I'm going to the luminance tab under HSL and increasing the orange slider value and somewhat of the red as well. Same goes for the saturation and hue tab, and make sure you don't change the hue of the skin unless you know you mess it up while shooting it. One opportunity you have when editing portraits is by creating a soft, glistening and dreamy look that a Pro Mist filter creates, but not everyone has a Pro Mist filter, which is why we're going to go to the masking option, create a new mask and select radial gradient. Create a mask around the model's face and then go select the mask, invert mask. What that's going to do is select everything but the face. Let me adjust it a little bit, and then I will go here and decrease the clarity, decrease the texture a bit, increase dehaze, and then increase the highlights. What that does is it decreases the sharpness in everything but the model's face because we need to preserve the details. Now, since you've stuck till the end, here's a bonus. I'm going to teach you how to do skin retouching on Adobe Photoshop in less than 1 minute. Alright, right click on the picture, edit in, where is edit in? Yep, edit in, Adobe Photoshop. Edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments and wait for the program to open. Does that count on the timer? I hope not. Select the layer, press Command J to duplicate it or Control J on PC. Now press Command I to invert the image. Looks scary, I know, it'll get better. Go to Other, High Pass, and select the value, select the value of around 20. And go to blending options and vivid light. From here, go to filter, blur and Gaussian blur and select a value that brings back the details. Mine is around 4.8. Yep. Now zoom in, select that layer, press option on your keyboard and select the masking option, creating an inverted mask. Make sure the color is white, select the brush and paint over the skin. Make sure you don't paint over any shapes or the shadows or any hair because that's going to ruin the detail. Right, let me zoom in more. Right, and there you go. That's skin retouching in less than 1 minute. I understand that for some of you, this does not sell a healthy image of body standards, which is why it's totally up to you if you want to do this step or not. If you look at it from my perspective, it's only me improving the attributes caused by poor lighting in that particular situation. And that's 5 beginner Lightroom tips for banger photo edits. Oh, I nailed it this time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. ASMR. I think I should start a podcast.